So, just less than a year ago, we were welcoming this episode's first guest as the new head coach of Sky Bet League Two, Forest Green Rovers. What a difference 12 months makes. No sooner had the paint dried on their title win than Rob Edwards was being unveiled as the man to restore the fortunes of Sky Bet Championship returnees Watford, which kind of makes me think because you're going into a new job, Rob, I thought, right, I'll be able to recycle that interview no end. And I looked at what my first question was to you that day, because I kind of quite methodical about keeping this stuff. And it was along the lines of how nervous were you stepping into another arena? And it does kind of seem relevant.
Yeah, I suppose it does. I mean, I think if I'm speaking honestly, there's always nerves going into a new role and a new job. I think we were really. I say we when I talk about we, it's Richie and I. I always say Richie and I now because Richie, we've gone together to Forest Green and obviously to Watford. So we
better just explain. This is Richie
Kyle, sorry, my
Richie Kyle,
assistant head coach. So Richie and I at Forest Green did the year together, and he's come with me. I'm very, very pleased about that, and he's come with us to Watford. And there's obviously nerves going into the first one. There's a bit of apprehension. You never know, because in football's probably the most random sport going, so you don't know what's going to happen. But you know what? Throughout the day, because it was an 8:00 kickoff that first game, if you actually talk about the game itself, and 8:00 kickoff, I was probably more nervous the earlier in the day. As the day went on, I calmed and grew to actually look forward to it more. And then when we came out, the atmosphere, I've got to say, was amazing. The welcome we got from the supporters was incredible, and they got behind the lads. They really, really did, and it settled me right down. And I was just really, really excited then.
But I guess the question is how much bigger a stage it is, because it seems like everything is times 10 on the end. And I guess you go from England development squads, you were the 16s, 20s with England. Then you go on to the domestic stage where, it's coming round twice a week in terms of games and more scrutiny. But then when you get to a club that's just come out of the Premier League, Rob, I mean, the crowds are bigger, the expectations are higher, the media scrutiny. Everywhere you go, I guess, you can't afford to have a bad 15 seconds because somebody somewhere's watching you.
I know what you mean. I think if you think about my career as a player, I was probably always playing around this level, really. So I've been around this level as a player, and so I've always been used to, the crowd element. That's nothing strange to me. All right, now there's a bit more of a, zoom in lens on me, if you like, but that's fine. And again, I coached then for around 3 years at Wolves at this level as well in the Championship. So I've been around it, and as a player or as a coach. So, and you know what, Clem, coaching. I think anyway, I'm doing our job. We're working with people, so the lads are still lads, are human beings. So that's not changed too much either. It's just a little bit more noise around, but I haven't really gone about it any differently. I've just tried to crack on and do what I do. And there's obviously been a few more interviews and a few more bits going on and a little bit more noise, but that's just part of it, isn't it? And I think you've got to learn, and I'll probably continue to do so as I keep going along. I mean, there'll be lots, I suppose, and there has been in the 6 weeks or so far. There's been lots of new things that have been going on, whether that's at the club, and there's a lot more staff and there's more people, but it's just maybe just other noise. It's important, but I think the most important thing are the people, and that's where I think I say Richie and I, and that's I think where we've done well. We've been really open with everyone, collaborated with everyone, and a focus has been on the people that, if that's the players and, or, the human side of the players, or, the staff and the football club. We want to try and bring people together.
Well, you've used those words, and I was looking around at some of the buzz phrases, and I keep seeing the words unity and togetherness with regards to this project. I love Emmanuel Dennis as well, post-match. What about the new manager? I like his vibe. I like his energy. I like the fact he's a young man. I mean, that's the ultimate compliment, Rob, isn't it? But serious
get a
question.
bit old on Christmas Day, like you reminded me earlier on.
Yeah, well, just before we started, Rob's going to be 40 on Christmas Day. I mean, but that can the tone setter can have a lot of energy sucked out of them as well. You must be having to manage your energy levels, because when it's a big club like Watford who want to see the manager smiling with every bit of business, walking down every corridor, greeting every fan, saying hello to the doorman, making sure they do everything right, you've also got to manage your downtime, haven't you, and make sure you rest too.
Yeah, you have. And I have got a lot of energy. Once I'm up and I'm about, then I feel like I'm still fairly young. I feel like I've got enough energy to do the role. It certainly does take up a lot more. I think a lot more of my time, not necessarily more thinking time, because I don't care what level you're working at in football at the moment. Now it takes up your thinking time, and when you're in the car or when you're at home, you're thinking about your team, you're thinking about players and individuals and stuff. But yeah, again, there has been more things going on, and you do want to try and give everyone your time and be, the best you, and be polite and be courteous. And certainly is a lot more people at this club, of course. But I feel so far over the 6 weeks, and that's very, very, I know that's not long at all. But I feel we've been able to do that and manage it pretty well. The championship, as we all know, there's loads and loads of games, so we won't get loads of time off, if you like. There won't be loads of days off, but when you do get an afternoon, or if you do get a chance to switch off, I do think you're right. I think it's important to try and do so. The best way I find, Clem, for me, is to try and get a bit of time with the family and switch off. Today this morning went to the Commonwealth Games to go and to spend some time together, but great to go and do something different. And that was great. And I was able to switch off for a couple of hours, which was really good. So for me, being able to do that, go to the park, get in the garden with our son or whatever it might be, that seems to help me.
You said essentially it's dealing with people. The thing though, Rob, is there is a fundamental difference between players at Forest Green Rovers level who are still pretty much of the real world. They're paid pretty well compared to your average man, but they're not a million miles away. Once we get into the championship, though, certainly in terms of financial rewards, it's a world away. And therefore, can't it be difficult to get inside the heads of those guys, because they are off the strata, driving cars most of the everyday public can only dream of, living a life most of the everyday public can only dream of. So how much does it stretch your people skills in having to be in a different place in conversations?
Yeah, I think probably with a few people have had to be slightly different and change my way. I mean, a lot of our lads, I think, are extremely, I would say, normal lads and very grounded, very humble, and really lucky to be working with them. Very much like our lads were at Forest Green. What we have obviously at our club as well is we do have a lot of people from different backgrounds. We're quite a multicultural, very multicultural club. So that's probably been new for me, to try and still be myself, but just let them know that I'm here for them. I want to support them. Where no one really tap into them. Where do they want to go? Where and how do I help you get there? Because I think all the players are motivated by improving and playing at the highest level. I think. So how can I help them do that, rather than sort of flipping it around and saying, "This is what I want from you." Sort of say to them, "Right, come on, what do you need from me? What do you need from me to help you get there?" And the majority of the lads have talked about honesty, and giving their time, giving them our time. That's pretty much what all of them wanted, and that's what we try and do.
What about when, as a collective, you have to perhaps force something on them, like, there was talk of lack of togetherness, and you've tried to do some team bonding stuff, whether that's meals, encouraging to talk about their story away from football, taking them off for a day, doing whatever it is you took them off for a day doing. How do you get buy-in on something like that? If a club's had none of that stuff, just suddenly new manager comes in with something that could be seen as novelty, how do you get buy-in from them?
Well, what we want, first of all, we've got a leadership group, so we can lean on a lot of the leaders to say, if there's ever any issues. To be honest, though, Clem, for whatever reason, there was a there was a reasonable amount of buy-in straight away from the boys. So we did. You're right. We went to Austria. We went to we did some kayaking. Went in the morning, and it was it was a really good laugh. Went down the river, did some kayaking. It was in the afternoon actually. We trained in the morning. I did say to the boys that, listen, I want everyone to be a part of it. We've talked about togetherness. We've talked about spirit. This is something that we're going to do together. It's important to me. We all do it. And then maybe one or two might have been a little bit not sure. But once we got there, they had a laugh. We all had a laugh. Everyone was soaking each other. Everyone was, buying in and having a laugh and going in the river and having and it was freezing, by the way, but most people got involved and had a really good time. Then we went for a brilliant barbecue in the evening up in the mountains in Austria. That was a really, really good day, and maybe something different to what they'd done before. Being able to switch off and have a bit of fun, and we had a few songs, and we had a laugh. And I think everyone enjoys having a laugh and again switching off from it. I think, as football's important. We think about it a lot, but the lads aren't robots, and I think it's important as well to be able to have a bit of fun and let our hair down as well. You're right. I don't think we're ever going to please everyone, Clem. So I can't sit here in front of you and say every single player would have thoroughly enjoyed it, and massive buy-in from everyone. But they know it's important to me that we do things together, that we are a unit, and we build on that unity and that spirit. Now you start moving into the season. There's probably nothing better for that than winning football matches, because then you do build on that with belief, and that sort of, I keep talking about fighting for each other and running for each other, and you can really build on that then with results. But I think we made a good start. We talked about caring for the lads and understanding that they're human beings first, and I think when the lads know that we're actually for them and we do care, we do genuinely care, and that's not fluffy. It's not being like all soft, but we do care about them. We will be honest with them. We're not going to tell them everything they want to hear all the time, because sometimes they won't be in the team, and they're not going to like that. But I'll always tell them, and tell them why, and tell them what they need to do to try and get back in. I think there's an element of respect there. Hopefully, then they might not like me, but hopefully there'll be an element of respect, and then they know, like I said, how important the team is, and being together and fighting for each other. And they all know as well that they've all been, a vast majority of our lads have been involved in promotions and everything else, and being part of successful teams. And they know when a team is together, that that's going to help with the success. Doesn't guarantee it, but it's going to help.
Can I dig over your personal decision-making process? I'm not going to insult you and recycle the figures that everybody chucks at you about Watford's track record with managers and stuff. Mm-hmm. You're not daft there, but is there a point where, regardless of what's gone before, you just have to go, this is too good an opportunity, I must give it a try? Or is there more to this?
No, there certainly was that element of it, Clem. Definitely. I think it was an amazing time at Forest Green, and I know it was only quick. But it was an incredible year. But when an opportunity like this, it came along. It was something that, it was exactly that. I thought, Rob, life's about living. This is basically what I went through. Life's about living. You've got to take some risks. I've taken quite a lot of risks actually in my coaching journey so far. Whether that was, when I retired, I sort of worked for nothing for a year and took a risk and thought, right, I'm going to make myself get a job and earn it, if you like. That took a year, but got there, and then maybe went to the FA on maybe less money than what would have been on at Wolves 23s and things like that. I thought, right, but I'll take some risks, and this is going to help me get to where I want to go. And this came along, and I thought, look, why can't we be the ones that can stay here for a while? Why can't we get it going? And the football club has been successful in the Championship in recent years. I know we've had a lot of turnover, but the club has still been successful. If you think about it, really, you look at our history. The amount of years that we've been in the top flight over the last decade or so will be right up there with what we've ever done in the club's history. So we've been successful doing what we've done. So I thought, look, this is too good an opportunity to turn down. You only live once, Rob. I don't want to live with any regrets and think back in a year's time, someone else takes a job, the club gets promoted, and think, well, that could have been me. Let's just have a go. And if it doesn't work out, it won't be through the lack of trying. I'm going to give absolutely everything for us to try and be successful.
Can a young manager go into an interview when such an opportunity is presented and have the sort of conversation that we all imagine we might in similar circumstances, i.e. to say to the owners, your track record of moving people on is a lot. I'm going to need time and space to do the things you want me to do. Are you going to back me if I lose 3 in a row on a minor blip in the course of the season? Can you have that earnest a conversation, or is it really a matter of it's a fait accompli for you?
No. We did talk about it, and to be honest as well, Gino and the board, Scott and Cristiano, they've all said as well, they want this to be a journey that we go on together. They want us to build something. They've recognised as well what's gone on in the past. They don't want to move people on, and no one, I don't think, ever wants to do that. It has happened. They were open about it, but they don't want that to be the case now. They want us to be successful, and I do feel like they're going to support us as well. Now, obviously, time will tell. Clem, we'll see. No one's got a crystal ball. We don't know how things will go. We obviously all want it to go well, but they have recognised what's happened in the past. We were open about it, and we all said how much we don't want that to be the case now.
Yeah. And one of the absolute markers was your front three and the absolute dynamic speed with which they operate. I mean, this must be so thrilling to be in charge of a football club that carries that.
I'm really sorry. I'm going to just get you to just do that question again because I lost you for a second. And just in case I can't get it back again, I'll be stuffed.
No problem.
Can you just literally just pick up from that question? Thank you.
Of course I can, mate. No problem. Rob, your front three, what a marker from that win over Sheffield United. I mean, it must be sheer joy, isn't it, when you have moments like the bewildering speed with which they attack to be the man on the sidelines watching it.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 really good players, and we've got, we're lucky that we've got a really talented group, but we have got a bit of an X factor as well about us at the moment, especially in those areas of the pitch, and they showed it at times of the night. And there's things that the big things I'm trying to get the buy-in. I think the lads have been great. It has again been that work rate, the running, the commitment, the pressing, the organisation, and the stuff around the team. But when it comes to things with the ball and finding the spaces and doing what they do and what they did for the goal in particular, I can't teach that. It's clearly not me. That's down to their ability, their game understanding, and just what they can do with the ball. So I feel really lucky to have those lads with us, and we know that with them we're certainly strong because we can, like the game was, it was tight the other night, but then you at some stage they're going to create something.
I'll tell you what, look at those first 3 games, Sheffield United, and then talk about hit the ground running. Obviously, got West Brom next and 4 with Burnley. I mean, talk about straight in at the deep end, Rob.
Yeah. They're difficult games, and we spoke about that after the game. In the interview that I did after the game, and the obvious answer is, look, Clem, we know we play everyone twice, so that's obvious. But we also recognise that they are big games. We probably expect those teams to all be up there at the end of the season. Be very surprised if they weren't. So maybe it's a good marker to see where we're at, but we've got to play them all. But do you know what as well? I think it probably gets the best out of us and our lads as well, because they'll be motivated, and they are like sort of all of those clubs been around the Premier League over the last few years, so they're good games for us as well, I think, from a motivational point of view.
Now, listen, final questions are regarding a certain well-known figurehead who supports Watford. I've had this conversation with quite a few managers over the years, as you can fully imagine. And where were you when you first got your call from Elton? Do you get like a little message, Elton's going to be in touch, or are you literally sitting in your conservatory and the phone goes and you go, I don't recognize this mobile number, and you answer it and Elton's on the far end? How does the protocol work with this?
Actually, the first time we spoke was he called the chairman's phone. So I spoke when I was down at the club, and I spoke to him on the chairman's phone. So I had a few minutes with him, and he was really, really positive. He was very, very supportive.
Wait a second. You're in the chairman's office, and the chairman's phone goes, and the chairman goes.
He came running in, Clem. So I was doing a bit of I've done a bit of the media work. I think, you know, been a couple of days in, so very, very early days, and just down there to do a little bit of media stuff with our proud website and things like that. And then Scott, the chairman, came running in and went, it's Sir Elton. So yeah, okay, just drop everything and hello. And yeah, it was, so that was surreal. He was really supportive and very, very positive, which was lovely to hear, because obviously, you know, if he's on board, then that helps a lot. And
knowledgeable,
then
Rob. He knows his
very
stuff.
knowledgeable.
He knew about you.
Yeah.
He knew what you'd achieved last season. He knew what you'd done before and stuff.
I think, yeah, obviously that he would have done his research, and he said, you know, he said, and this is like, you know, he said, oh, it feels like, you know, when Graham Taylor took over, and, you know, young managers, you know, we won League Two and all that. And so, listen, he was really positive, and it was great. But then the really surreal one was when his concert on the Sunday about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I went with my wife, and we got to meet him. So went to see him before the show, and had 10 minutes with him. He was asking about all the players, again, really knowledgeable, and then he even gave me and Kerry a shout out before one of the songs. And
no,
it was unbelievable. It was an amazing night. But what about that night as well? His concert was brilliant, but it was a lovely evening. We had a lot of nice weather lately, haven't we? And everyone was there. The stadium was filled with yellow shirts, and it made me realise, look, they're here to see Elton John. I know that, but you know, there's a lot of fans here. This is a big club, and sort of really brought it home that night as well.
Good Lord. You went right into Sir Elton's inner sanctum, his dressing roomy area, before he went on stage. I've heard these tales before where he's quite relaxed before he goes on.
Oh, he was really relaxed.
Yeah?
He was really relaxed, just chilling, chatting to us, and then right, I'm gonna have to get ready now. And literally 15 minutes later, he's walking up the steps and bang on the piano, and off he goes. You know, it was amazing, and he was brilliant on the night as well.
I tell you what, has Kerry got a birthday coming up, or have you got a wedding anniversary or anything like that? Because I'd be passing this off as a gift, mate. I'd be pulling, you know, when she goes, oh, you haven't got me an anniversary present. I'd be going, what do you mean I didn't get you an anniversary present? You met Sir Elton John. You've got to play all the cards with that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So that was great. That was great.
Rob, we shall follow your progress with interest. Keep up your what was it Emmanuel Dennis called it? Young man vibes. Keep them up, mate, while you can.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Great
Cheers,
to talk to you. Good luck, mate.
And you. Take care.